Oh, hey, it's me.
And your beard looks so good.
I'll turn it around so y'all don't have to stare at me. So, everybody knows that I am obsessed with three things: PEZ, Star Wars, and my wife. And it's an unhealthy obsession, but hey, we all got to have a Buddha, right? If you know Mary, you know that her biggest obsession is Mickey, and you're going to see that we really enjoy the people, right? We're PEZ collectors, sure, we collect PEZ, but we're PEZ heads because of all of you. If we sold this entire collection off, then we would still keep the things that matter. And the things that matter are the things that are given to us with a story. A lot of these things have a lot of stories, have a lot of history, have a lot of people. This is my wife's lovely Mickey collection. A lot of this is Brian and Porter. God bless them. A lot of this has come from them. And Karen, there's the Karen guitar. The Don Dusendang solo Mickey collection. The Christmas necklace that was given to us from the Johnsons. Over here we have a penny, right? A original penny wrestler. There's one there. There's one there. That is from the Devlins. God love them. If you have a child in the room or somebody who's offended by words, turn your head. There you go. That's a Brian. That's another Brian and Porter. There's a lot of personal things here that people from Funko, that people have given to Mary. This is all my wife's lovely Mickey Mouse collection. I'll try to go slow enough, but fast enough at the same time, because I don't want to get played off like this is the Oscars. We've been collecting since '99. Our first PEZ convention was PEZmania 11. I'm getting to the room. Do you see? She's yelling at me already. All right, so here we go. The room. This room has a lot of influence from a lot of people, and Todd, I'm stealing your idea for the strips to hold the people hold the PEZ in by the feet. There's a Jim Blaine sign. I saw him on here. All right, we're gonna close the door. This is the PEZ room, folks. I'm slowing down. Oh, Japanese minis. We took the closet doors off to do this. Now, I said earlier, my obsession with Star Wars and my obsession with PEZ, thankfully, we can blend the two. There's some awesome skateboards, courtesy of Eddie. We've got two of those. Here's our Funko Pop PEZ. I still don't know how I feel about them. I like the characters. I like the people. Ooh, Charlie Cox. Oof. Best Daredevil ever. We started collecting the original at the old house. Was a horrible, horrible way of displaying. So we decided to gut this room in the new house. And there, Star Wars. There's a whole lot of David Prowse signed Star Wars. He was the fellow that played the original Darth Vader. Because of Brian and Porter, there's a whole lot of autographed David Prowse stuff. This display here, again, look, Brian and Brian. Brian has taken a lot of my money, but he's also taken my heart.
He's done that to all of us.
Yeah, you're right about that. This display here was supposed to be all rainbow cards. But you know, it just turned out to be whatever fit. Like a lot of us, you know, you find the hole, you just try to fill it. There's a whole lot of, we have some signed stuff in here that came from, this here was signed by Gerda and Sean. I believe it was an anniversary. Natalie and Michael, God love them. They gave me that. And to this day, every time I look at that, I get a little smile. And that's what I mean by this is bigger than just PEZ. This is the people. You know, I wanted to give them something for it. The only thing that they wanted was the fact that I loved it. And I do. I love them. So pewter, there's a collection of all of those. We actually received those in the mail. I gave them when they were mailing them out in the 90s. And then I guess interest dropped off and they quit doing it. One of the best days we would have was we'd get those in the mail. We'd rip them open and threw the box away. But unfortunately, we threw the box out. There's all my comic book collection. We have a bunch of crystals, Merry Melody Makers. There's our FX hands. Now this is our fantasy collection. Try not to ask any questions because I don't know if some of these should be shown, but so what? Quality work, and here's the Star Wars. Here's my Star Wars PEZ. These are odds and ends down here at the bottom. Just things that don't really have enough to find at home. My wife's PEZ shoes. I don't think they would fit us. There's a signature. The only time that my wife could not talk was trying to get a signature from some guy from some show. I don't know who it was, but she turned into a 10-year-old girl. She was swooning. Oh my God, there's more Mickeys. Over here, these are convention PEZ. Well, let's look at the big wall first. This is the wall that I think we take the most pride in. A lot of personal, a lot of things that, like that PEZ right there made me cry. Maybe one day I'll share the story. Again, that PEZ right there, both of those, the Black Santa, the Valentine Girl, both those Thor PEZ. Trying to go slow. If I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. All the porcelain hinge boxes. Some more cello in the tubes. Some more signed David Prowse. Some my unhealthy obsession with Darth Vader. I don't know if that makes me dark side, but that's okay. Now, these are all my wife's convention PEZ. I say my wife's convention PEZ because I'm not really into them, but you know what? We all collect different, right? One of the best things I love about this hobby is the fact that it never stays the same. It's always changing. It's always growing. This room has never looked the same way. There's all my Misfits. The Just Lamps PEZ right here. I shed a tear when I won that in a raffle. These are all the Misfits, all these Steve Glue Misfit collection, my guns. This is a lot of our swag. Thank you, Brian, for introducing the world to Swag Swap. You forever, at least for me, you changed the way I will collect. And yes, John, I saw that. There's your beer. This, Larry Mason made for Mary and I. And this is beautiful. I don't even know how. I don't have the words to describe what it made us feel. And Jessica, I don't know if Juan is here, if he's on, or if he's out saving the world again, driving that truck, being essential. But I beat Juan in PEZ Wars and won that. Sorry. I'm always going to rub that in. Here we have Bubbleman. A lot of this has personal stories to it. Everybody has a Judy Messler. There's the tram, I guess you call it. I don't know. Misty sign. And let's back up a little bit. Okay, so we have Easter. There's our Easter collection. They're Halloween. Some of these are from Jim Williams. I will try to do this without knocking it over. Hopefully it'll start. There it goes. We've got quite a few of these that came from Jim. Turn them up and they blink. It's our Christmas. There's our bunny rabbit. The Steve Glue collection. There's one of the bags that he used to smuggle. It makes me happy to say smuggle. I shouldn't say smuggle, but bring PEZ over. If you've never read that story, you need to read that story. It changed the way I looked at this collection and at these wonderful PEZ. Here's a lot of our vintage. I do have an incredibly unhealthy obsession with pith. I don't know why. It's just a different colored stem, but I love them. I love the simplicity of them. There's also a rule in our house. You come to the Wiley house, you get stuck in what I call the Wiley collection. I am so far behind with getting people on sticks. We have the wallet, beautiful Landon. Brian, who started the face on a stick. And oh my God, it's Jim Blaine.
That's the worst Mount Rushmore I've ever seen.
Oh, you should have seen what I was trying to do, buddy. I was trying to do it. I failed so miserably. There's all the fat-eared bunnies. A little more Christmas, a little more Halloween. Over here we have, it would just be the non-footed or the ones that added up to be more than just a common PEZ. All the, as far as I know, these are all the cell phone PEZ straps. Then we have these broke down into, there's our Hello Kitties. A little more spillover from Mickey. Believe it or not, there's too many Mickeys to display. I know. I hope you were all sitting down when I gave you that bit of information. There's our trucks. I'll tell you right now, Todd, I'm stealing your idea for getting rid of these sticks and using those little tile straps to hold them in by the feet. There was a guy who used to be in this, Silas Ryan, who's no longer in it, but we bought, what started off years ago is we bought all of his Barkies. And it turned into a Barkie obsession for my beautiful wife that is now slowly creeping over into more racks. Over here we have Disney and some other hodgepodge. Some cards that I've only ever seen a few times. They're like the Big Billa, but they're Woolworth. Here's some of my wife's favorite convention. In the corner, this is how we've decided to try to display the box sets, which is very difficult to do. Again, what most of us as a collector end up fighting with is room. Hey, there's my apron from the Pig 2. Oof, the Pig 2. If I could talk about it, I would. Another, Eddie Santiago will throw this up on Facebook. There's the jacket. Over here we have, there were PEZ tins that had stickers. And these are, I know it's trying to focus, it's not doing a very good job. A lot of the stickers, I think all of them, but we have them in the tins as well. And here's
Chris,
a lot
you
of
have
the,
just about a minute left. Is there something you want to make sure that we see?
yes, that creepy card. The creepy card that makes me, it slowly bleeds into my nightmares on a regular basis. I love it. I guess what I want to wrap it up by saying is we are PEZ collectors. We love PEZ. We will always love PEZ. We will always collect PEZ. But it's all of you that make us PEZ heads. And if I were to sell this entire collection off right now to one person, to 1 million people, it wouldn't matter, because my love for all of you and the community that has brought us into us and made us feel like a family, it wouldn't change. I will always be a PEZ head, whether I collect these little plastic things or I don't. And I'll wrap it up by saying thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. And I don't know if Brian is still watching, but I wanted him to see this because I still have it. If you know what this is, you know what this is. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I love you all.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Love you, Chris.
A lot of us feel
for making
a
me
lot of
part of
us
your
feel
family.
that a lot of us feel that you are and Mary are some of the people that hold us all together. So you're more. It's more than we're more than PEZ heads. We're a family. And
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
yeah. And on that note, Zach says to give his mom a big hug for him. So if anybody has any questions or anything for Chris, or if you just want to hear the stories of things that when Chris said, I'll tell you the story later. If you want to hear that story, Chris is happy to share it with you. He loves
Absolutely.